Well, another conversation I think we need to have is Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa did an interview with Spin Magazine where he talked about, the police, and he said the police are not our biggest issue. They may be a definitive factor in if you live or die today, but you're going to deal with much more run of the mill violence from your own kind. He added, because that's just the psyche and programming of our communities. So it's like, as a young black man, must learn to become the aggressor unless you want to be the victim. What's your thoughts?
I agree,
Yeah,
100%. Now, although the media may give us an image that every police officer wants to kill every black man in the world, that's just not the case. And when you look at how many rappers have we talked about, unfortunately, passing away due to violence in the last 4 years, 5 years we've done this platform, how many died at the hands of the police? And then how many died at the hands of somebody that looks exactly like them? 9 times out of 10 in the neighborhood they grew up in.
mm-hmm.
That's just the reality and the fact. And we talk about it when it relates to this podcast. Somebody of a different hue as us can go and ask incriminating questions and nothing will happen. We go and ask the same questions and we got to watch our back when we walk out that door because there's a self-hate
Yeah,
piece of poison that's implemented within us that was strategically planned, and we can go into that and get into depth how throughout the decades and centuries that was kind of put in place. But it's right. And you could call Vic Mensa what you want, you could say what you want, or you cap it for the look at the facts.
mm-hmm.
And the facts are, where he's from in Chicago, more black and brown people die from black and brown people than they do from the hands of the police. Unfortunately, it just
Right.
is what it is, and we don't hear about it in the mainstream media because the plan is going in motion perfectly. One dies, one goes to jail. We get free labor out of one. One goes in the dirt. We're winning, 1 for 1. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I agree, and I appreciate Vic Mensa for speaking out. He usually does speak out against things that are against status quo and does cause kind of a controversial type conversation. But in this aspect, he's 100% right, in my opinion.
yeah. Even the part where he says you got to become the aggressor unless you want to be the victim. I think this is like hundreds of years of I don't know if I want to use the word programming,
Mm-hmm.
but just hundreds of years of a way of life being a certain way and having to adjust and adapt to a certain way. My thing will be also is to just keep in mind, yeah, he's true. It's 100%. Statistically, he's 100% right. But that don't mean, and not that we saying this, to disregard, the police
Nope.
and our relationship with the police.
Right.
And, the institution that the police was, birthed out of, which is slave catchers.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta, as a black man, you got many enemies. You got many, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, the black man is probably gonna be one of your biggest. And that's sad. That's just the way it is right now, man. You're more likely to be killed by another black man than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the statistic. We gotta work day by day to try to change that. So yeah, I agree with him, man. There's not much more you can really, you can't argue it. All you could do is agree with it and add to it. But with that being said, don't think the police is your friend either. It's a certain way you got to engage them in a certain way that you have to, move around police as well.
Facts. And there's
Yeah.
probably going to be people in the comments to go, well, what about white on white? What about Asian on Asian? It happens everywhere. It depends on your demographic. You're 100% right, but we are black. We
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
talk about us
yeah.
and how to fix us. Because when
Right.
you talk about all these other cultures, when it comes economically, when it comes to the power structure, when it comes to education, we sit at the lowest end of that totem pole. And we got to figure out how we can fix that. And we got all these talented men and women in our culture that are dying in the streets or going to jail because of circumstances that we have to fix. It has to be talked about. It has to be highlighted. And we're not alienating just us. We're us. So we got to talk about how to fix us.
Yeah, we don't. The thing is, like, we don't have to remain in this condition anymore
Right.
because technically we're free. I know people say you go to jail, this, that, and the third. It's to me, it's about the spending how we spend our money. We could be anywhere anybody else could be.
Yep.
We just don't do it the right way. We don't live with each other. We don't keep our money in our community. We spend it frivolously. We spend it on things, and we all do it. I do it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Something that's gonna make you happy for the moment. You know what I mean? You get a sense of gratitude, and after that, you're feeling depressed that you bought it. You know what I mean? It's going to take. It took hundreds of years to get us in position. It's going to take hundreds of years, I think, to get us out of this. But I think it's always positive gains being made, though. Honestly, always with certain people that I see. Because look at our circles, man. We got a lot of great people in our circles. People that are about their word, people that are just doing some great things. So I'm encouraged as life continues on. Definitely.
100%. I'm 100% encouraged with our culture and how it's moving as well. Just got to keep doing it.